So last time, we pretty much only talked about the Yankee subculture and how, looking at that archetype from a meta context, it was pretty obvious that the appeal was in the contrast between expectation and reality.
This time, we're gonna look more inward, into the heart and soul of what makes a delinquent who they are. Their hobbies, the clothes they wear, the things they talk about. We wanna look at their passions.
And that is the key word. Honestly, I don't even think we particularly have to break this down all that much, but we will anyway, because it's fun.
The thing is, passion is a huge part of the appeal, especially with gals.
And to a point, that makes a lot of sense. Remember a few episodes ago when we broke down, tried to break down the histories of the Yankee and the Gyaru? Well, it was a little easier with the first because that subculture had really clear roots. The Yankee basically popped up as a response to a lot of the societal pains hitting a post-war Japan.
But figuring out the origin of the gal was harder. It didn't come from any one particular place. It's more like it just developed from all these seemingly unrelated circumstances compounding together at once.
The pressures of an increasingly more individualistic mindset after the war, the infiltration of Western style into the East, the burst of the Japanese bubble economy in the 90s, leading to marketing being aimed more at younger demographics. It was a lot, and that's not covering half of it.
At the end of the day, though, a lot of it comes down to fashion. There was this new interest in being trendy or even ahead of the trends.
Suddenly, a lot of teen girls were getting into more expressive fashions. Plenty of them were even working for the extra capital to spend on clothes, makeup, accessories, you name it.
The entire movement represented a passion for fashion!
And related things, but yeah. And that's represented pretty well in a lot of Gyaru stuff. But for our purposes, look no further than Dosanko Gyaru wa Namara Menkoi and Yansha Gyaru no Anjou-san.
But even if you want to step outside of the fashion arena for a bit, people aren't monoliths, right? If you're passionate about one thing, then you can be passionate about other things. And Marin, over in My Dress-Up Darling, is another great example.
All three of these girls give their all to the things they care about. And that's actually really inspiring to the people around them, but especially their love interests.
It's actually pretty hard for me to decide which one does it best.
Well, it's kind of because they all do it in a slightly different way. Take Dress Up Darling, for example. Marin is super into the cosplay thing, to the point that she gets Gojo involved in her hobby. But she doesn't pressure or coerce him into it or anything. Sure, he's kind of a pushover and she does basically beg him, but that isn't why he says yes. He says yes because he sees how much it means to her. And after she supported him about his hobby, he wanted to do the same for her.
Yeah, and from that point on, they basically work together. Sure, he's helping Marin with her passion, but it's also helping him to improve at his. It's sort of a symbiotic thing.
But let's pivot for a sec and look at something that's a small measure less mutual. Fuyuki and Tsubasa over in Dosanko.
It's weird because they actually take a kind of backward approach to the whole thing. Tsubasa is the one who actually inspires Fuyuki in that respect, not the other way around.
In Chapter 31, we actually learn about Fuyuki's dreams and ambitions when she tells Tsubasa that she's going abroad to study cosmetics in Korea.
It's part of that old miscommunication trope where he thinks she's leaving for good, but it's actually just for a week or something like that. Not the point, though. The point is that she openly admits that before she met him, she never really had the drive to do anything like that. She was aimless.
But his dedication to bettering himself is what drove her to take that leap. The reason we bring it up here, though, is because we did some looking and Tsubasa doesn't really have a specific passion.
Yeah, no. Tsubasa is the type to work really hard and give his all to everything he does. He's really earnest like that, and it's pretty sweet. But he doesn't have a thing. He ends up becoming a teacher by the end, which is a whole other cliche for characters like him, but he's kind of good at, well, everything.
It's actually disgusting how good he is at everything. But at least it does have a reason. And petty jealousy aside, it isn't his passion that inspires her. It's his diligence. That compels her to pursue her passion and be the best at it that she can be.
And while makeup and cosmetics are the physical representation of her passion, her actual passion is people. She loves people and loves making people happy. That's what Tsubasa fell in love with.
At least if you go by what he says. It's all wholesome and sweet or whatever.
Bitter much?
How the hell can I be bitter when the damned manga's this sugary sweet?
I don't know. How are you?
I'm not! Look, all I'm saying is that Tsubasa's whole explanation barely works. With the exception of his mom, Tsubasa's almost never in a situation where concealing his feelings really comes into play outside the typical dancing around the love triangle shtick. Seto, on the other hand...
Ooh, a nice pivot, sis.
Thank you. But seriously, Seto is exactly the thing that they were trying to do with Tsubasa, but, well, better. In all the ways that matter.
It's true. And that makes it even more effective when we see the kind of impact Anjou is having on him.
Just like all the other girls we've brought up so far, Anjou has a passion for aesthetics. But instead of clothes or makeup, which she also loves, by the way, Anjou's passion is for hair. She wants to be a stylist because she likes making people feel relaxed and making them look their best. Look good, feel good, you know?
And Seto is constantly in awe of her because she already has this idea about what her future's going to look like, while he feels lost. Anjou wants to work in her mom's salon when she's done with her training to be a beautician, but Seto has no idea what he wants to do. And she spends a lot of time, especially in the later series, helping him think about it.
While she encourages him a lot, she also inspires him by just living her life normally and pursuing the things that interest her. It's something he doesn't feel all that confident in on his own, but seeing her do it makes it feel like it isn't something unattainable.
So imagine how much more complicated those feelings get when, in later chapters, we start to see that just because Anjou is passionate about her chosen path, it doesn't necessarily mean her future is assured. She found something that she likes and is good at, so she fully dedicated herself to getting even better. It became a part of who she is. So you could probably guess that it's devastating for her to be told that it's hopeless, that her dream can't come true. It leaves her feeling completely lost. For the first notable time in the entire series, Anjou is the one feeling anxious and depressed, at least about her own life.
Her passion is heavily wrapped in who she is, so it guides a lot of her actions, choices, and behaviors. Being told all of that is meaningless invalidates more than just her career goals. It invalidates her. It's an example of how the Gyaru is defined in so many ways by the things they're passionate about. And another example from the same series is Toyoda.
Yep, she and Inuyama, Seto's friend, are also a ship. Hooray for a pair of the spares! Or something. But seriously, their relationship is great too. They're both really passionate about art. And while they're not necessarily working together in the same way as Marin and Gojo, they are working alongside one another for a common goal, getting into the same art school.
You could even make the argument that Toyoda is Inuyama's muse or something. Granted, not his only one, but he does feel more motivated with her around. Not purely because he likes her, but also because she's really dedicated. They kind of inspire one another, but his effect on her art isn't quite the same as her effect on him.
Of course, more recent chapters have shown that it's not all rainbows and sunshine, but we'll leave you to read those for yourself and see what we mean. It does work in reverse, though. That's all we'll say.
Ultimately, passion is one of the single biggest points of appeal for the Gyaru archetype, as it should be, because the Gyaru was born from passion and dedication surrounding certain facets of culture. A Gyaru without passion isn't a Gyaru. They're a poser.
And no one likes a phony.
Nah, any true delinquent's gotta be 100% genuine. Which brings us to our next point.
And you can hear more about that next time.
But for now, feel free to sound off with your favorite Gyaru in the comments. And while you're down there, subscribe, ring the bell, and give that like button a zap.
In the meantime, that's my sister Riley.
She's my headache, Rila.
Okay, rude. Thanks for watching.
Keep up the awesome, and stay tuned!